Selena Gomez finally spoke out about what Hailey Bieber said recently in an Instagram story. Short, calm, and clear enough for everyone to know who it was about. Her answer quickly went viral, starting new conversations on social media. Fans thought it was a calm way to set the record straight without adding to the drama. Selena Gomez finally spoke up after Hailey Bieber's comments, and she did it in her usual calm but sure way. There was no interview, no tweet, and no shade. Just one short Instagram story with a plain black background and white text, but the point was clear. Selena said that she doesn't want to compare herself to others or have public arguments anymore. She talked about being kind, being relevant, and how what other people say doesn't matter to her. A quiet but strong reminder that she's above all the noise. I think it showed exactly who Selena has always been. She doesn't get involved to win an argument, she talks to end one. There was no anger in her voice, just a calm certainty that spoke louder than any fight could. But even though she stayed calm, fans quickly took over the conversation online, picking apart every sentence and pointing out what they thought were hidden meanings aimed at Hailey. "Revance, not intelligence, sums up Hailey's whole life," one user said. It was blunt, but it showed how many fans thought Selena's words were a subtle way of calling out the constant need to stay relevant. Another person said, "I wouldn't say she's defending Hailey, and I agree. She wasn't picking sides or making things easier, she was making limits." Yeah, she basically said in the nicest way possible that she doesn't care what Hailey says about her, someone else said. That line was a perfect match for the tone. Grown-up indifference. Another fan said, "Oh, Lord, they're gonna get her for this one." She spilled, though. That is exactly what happened. Selena didn't pull anyone. But her calm answer made headlines all over the place. In just a few sentences, she showed once more that quiet confidence goes deeper than any public clapback. Hailey Bieber's most recent interview was full of lines that were supposed to sound empowering, but they ended up showing the same contradictions that fans have been pointing out for years. She said it's always annoying to be up against other people. "I didn't ask for that, and I don't want to compete with people who don't inspire me." But the irony is hard to miss because Hailey herself is the one who has kept the comparisons going. For more than 10 years, she's been quietly following Selena Gomez's plan. Not just in how she dresses or styles her hair, but also in how she presents herself to the public. Hailey seems to copy Selena's style or project every time Selena gets a lot of attention. It's not just a coincidence anymore. The photo shoots, skincare branding, and even the captions are all too similar. It seems planned. One fan put it perfectly when they said she has to be doing it on purpose. "Another day, another Hailey interview reminding us how much she loves Selena," one person joked. That sarcastic tone shows how the internet sees Hailey now. Not as a rival, but as someone who is trying too hard to be like the person she says she doesn't compete with. Next, there are the harsher views. "Wild to shade other companies you're on the market with," one person wrote. "I hope Sephora gets rid of her mean girl." Another person said, "She knows what she's doing. Her fans are stupid." Those words are harsh, but they show how many people feel. Hailey always seems to say she doesn't care, right before she makes another subtle dig that starts the drama all over again. If she really didn't want to fight Selena, she wouldn't keep talking about it. Instead, every interview, every brand move, and every post leads back to the same story. And right now, it's not the fans making up that story. It's her. As soon as Hailey Bieber's Wall Street Journal interview went viral, dozens of blogs and celebrity news sites called it what it was: shade thrown at Selena Gomez. But the story started to change within hours. Out of nowhere, the headlines started to change. Cosmopolitan published an article called "Hailey Bieber Didn't Shade Selena Gomez by the Way," in which they said that her quotes were about the beauty industry as a whole. TMZ then came out and said she was talking about competition between skincare brands, not people. Then came the news and People, each citing sources close to Hailey, saying that her comments were taken out of context and that she never mentioned Selena. It didn't seem like a coincidence to me. It seemed more like planned public relations cleanup. All of these news sources said the same thing. Hailey was taken out of context, and it happened too quickly to ignore. Her team knew that another Selena shade headline would hurt her brand, so they tried hard to spin it as empowerment talk. But fans didn't buy it. One of the most popular comments said, "We know it's not true. She meant what she said, but how dare she now talk badly about other Sephora brands?" everything to keep them connected, and still no word from S-Girl is like fighting air, another person said. That's the issue. Selena never answers questions in public unless they are very important. But Hailey always ends up back in the same cycle of headlines. A fan put it very simply, she really needs to stop talking. She always makes her own problems. Someone else said, that's exactly what I think when I see Hailey and her fans. The PR spin might calm the headlines for a while, but it doesn't change the pattern. People stop believing it when every explanation sounds like damage control, and at this point, no amount of media management can make Hailey look innocent, when her own words keep making things worse. Hailey talked about a mother who has chosen peace, calm, and early nights in her interview with the Wall Street Journal. She said that she now plans dinners for 6:00 p.m. so she can get home in time to put her son to bed. She says that time has become holy. She said that being a mother gave her a new kind of quiet strength and changed her, less interested in going out at night, more protective and more stable. But fans quickly saw that it wasn't right. One person said she was seen at dinner much later than 6:00 p.m. several times in the past few weeks as well. That alone goes against the story of a strict schedule built around her child. Someone else said, time has become so valuable, so why don't you pay more attention to your son instead of liking shady posts about your husband's ex? That comment really shows how her words and actions don't match up. These contradictions are important because being a mother is very personal, but also very public when you're in the spotlight. It sounds good to say that you don't go out late anymore and that your life is all about your child. People see it as performative when what someone says doesn't match what they do. It's fine for a new mom to go out at night to balance work and family. It's not a problem that she sometimes contradicts herself. The problem is that she uses those contradictions to tell a bigger story about how she is a better mother. She has built soft power around this image, but there are times when it slips, or when people start to wonder if the story is made up or real. If this is about showing the difference between image and reality, then we should pay even more attention to what she says next. You lose the chance to make innocent mistakes when motherhood becomes a branding tool. It's hard to ignore how everything Hailey Bieber does, says, and quotes seems to come back to the same issue. What began as a few lines in an interview turned into yet another media storm. Not because people are ready to attack her, but because what she says and what she does don't always match up. The contradictions are always there, like when she says she's above comparisons while copying Selena's every move, or when she talks about being a quiet mother while being seen at late-night events. Selena Gomez, on the other hand, keeps her cool and doesn't say much. She posts one calm thing and one measured thing, and then she lets the noise speak for itself. That's what keeps her from getting caught up in the chaos. She doesn't have to prove anything. Her silence does the job. Hailey's team might try to change the headlines or make them more about her journey as a mother, but the audience isn't stupid. People have learned to see through PR polish, and once something is said on the internet, it stays there. It could be that the real problem isn't how much Hailey talks, it's that she keeps trying to control a story that she can't. You can't control your public image forever. At a certain point, being real is the only thing that can protect you. When one woman is quiet and the other keeps talking, it's easy for the world to see who's really at peace and who's still trying to convince everyone she is.